Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It's Tuesday, July the 14th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to open lower with ASX futures down close to 0.1%. Oil prices have surged and equity markets have fallen as the conflict between the United States and Iran re-intensifies. The United States has reinstated a naval blockade of Iranian ports in the latest escalation that has unnerved investors. Tech shares copped the brunt of the selling on Wall Street. Micron fell heavily along with Nvidia, while US listed shares of South Korean chipmaker SK Hynix sank after rising more than 12% on Friday in its Nasdaq debut. SanDisk, Marvell Technology and Intel were other notable movers. Shares of Elon Musk's SpaceX fell and then recovered after hitting their lowest level since the IPO. US energy majors tracked the rising oil price, while US listed shares of the gold miners followed the bullion price lower. And tomorrow, the major financial firms kick off second quarter earnings season led by Bank of America, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo. And the world's first publicly listed nuclear fusion company, General Fusion, surged 38% in its first day of trading after merging with a special purpose acquisition company. Well, President Trump says the United States is reinstating its blockade of Iranian shipping in the Gulf and will ensure the Strait of Hormuz stays open for a fee following more missile and drone attacks. Posting on social media, he said the USA will be from this point forward known as the guardian of the Hormuz Strait, but as such, and as a matter of fairness, will be reimbursed at the rate of 20% on all cargo shipped. Well, US forces struck a submarine and ship maintenance facility in Iran on Sunday, while Iran claims to have targeted US military facilities in Bahrain and Kuwait and destroyed radar systems in Oman. Concern is now returning about the inflationary effects of rapidly rising oil prices, with US Fed member Christopher Wallace saying, if we get a hot reading on core inflation this week, then the FOMC will need to consider tightening monetary policy in the near term. Well, those concerns are reflected on the Treasury market, with US yields jumping, the US 2-year rising to 4.28%, the 10-year was up to 4.62%. Markets pricing in a 45% chance the Fed funds rate will be hiked by 25 basis points at the next meeting at the end of July, and a 100% chance by September. Australian 3-year government bond yield futures, they rose to 4.5%. The 10-year was at 4.94. US dollar index is up around 0.5%. The Aussie is trading at 69.2 US cents. Well, oil prices have surged more than 9% to a 1-month high after the United States announced a naval blockade of Iran's coastline, ports and oil terminals, reigniting concerns over energy shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude futures settling at $83.30 a barrel. Gold fell heavily on news of rising energy prices, reigniting inflation concerns and high interest rates. Spot gold at $4,000 an ounce. Copper futures little changed. Iron ore, it fell to $100 a tonne, and risk-off sentiment has pushed Bitcoin lower. It's trading below 60 or around 62,000 US dollars. Ahead locally today, we get the Westpac Consumer Sentiment Survey and NAB's Business Confidence Survey. That is your day ahead. I'll see you again tomorrow.